You're listening to The Scrimmage with Daniel Hargrove and Justin Domashevitz.
This one came from Caleb. We're moving on from burgers. Okay, I won.
Okay.
The question from Caleb was, should Ken Griffey Jr. have been the first unanimous Hall of Famer?
Yes.
I'm gonna say, okay,
on.
you got baseball guys over here in the Hargrove household. Jimmy and Daniel, you guys take this one first.
Duh.
Yes, and we are also part of the sample group that Ken Griffey Jr. is our all-time favorite player of all time, ever and forever and always.
In all sports.
So, yes, he should have been. The fact that you had some curmudgeonly baseball writer going, oh, he can't be the first, I'm not going to vote for him. I mean, honestly, there was probably a guy before that who should have been a unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer. So maybe he shouldn't have been the first one, but the fact that there hadn't been one before him, he then should have been the first one. The fact that Mariano Rivera was the only unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer is absolutely insane, because they still like to hold on to this weird, stupid argument that a designated hitter should be viewed as less of a player because they don't play in the field. And yet every single one of them thought, oh, yeah, a guy who pitches one inning every now and then, he should be the first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah. Are you kidding me? That's absolutely insane. It's as insane as when Dennis Eckersley won the league MVP for doing the same thing. It's like, how these guys became relievers? They sucked at starting at some point in their career. And they're like, hey, maybe you can throw well for an inning or two. So now you're telling me that all these bums who couldn't be a starting pitcher now get to be thought of as some of the greatest ever when they're trashing designated hitters? It's ridiculous.
I agree.
Okay, that might be the greatest answer you've given to any question in the history of either iteration of this show or any show in the history of your existence.
That was
So congratulations. That was amazing. I would answer this by saying the same thing I said when this big controversy came up with Derek Jeter of, oh, how was Derek Jeter not a unanimous Hall of Famer? It is New York elitism, stupid East Coast bias at its absolute finest. And they get away with this garbage.
Yep.
I mean, I have no problem with Mariano Rivera being a unanimous Hall of Famer. I would have had no problem with 20 people before him being a unanimous Hall of Famer. My point is, I don't give a rat's you-know-what. I don't care. I wish they wouldn't release the percentages. Like, can we just know who gets in and who doesn't? I don't care if it's unanimous. You made the Hall of Fame. In that moment, I should never feel this, but I felt bad for Derek Jeter because somehow the fact that he was inducted into the Hall of Fame on the first ballot was tarnished by the fact that he wasn't unanimous. It's so ridiculous. Can we just say you're a Hall of Famer, you're not a Hall of Famer, without having to create all this extra controversy over it? Like,
but then what would we talk about?
Ken Griffey, yeah, you're right. I do this continuously. This continuously. I love to argue over crap, but then I want to eliminate things that cause arguments. Basically, I think I've said this on the air multiple times. For my money, Ken Griffey Jr. is the greatest baseball player I have seen with my eyes in the history of my life. So if anybody that I've seen since I was born in 1985 should be a unanimous Hall of Famer, it's Ken Griffey Jr. and no one else.
I think it should be designated for those once-in-a-generation players, and I think he definitely was. At once-in-a-generation at, like, their position, outfield, infield. Mariano Rivera, I think, would qualify. Definitely Mike Trout should be unanimous when his time comes. So.
Not Derek Jeter. He wasn't even the best shortstop on his own team the entire career. Andrew, what are your thoughts?
I just think that, okay, I'm not a baseball player. I'm not even a diehard baseball fan. I'm on the record as being a Mariners fair weather fan. I love them, but I don't really care deeply about them after they start sucking a month into the season. But the fact that Mariano Rivera, who apparently, again, I'm not a baseball fan, was a reliever. The fact that Mariano Rivera was the first unanimous Hall of Famer, and they basically let Edgar in because they were like, I guess we better let him in because whatever, I guess we'll finally let him in eventually. I have no words for the depth of my disregard for the people that are selecting the Baseball Hall of Fame. How can you take yourself seriously and not induct the greatest player at his position into the Hall of Fame until you absolutely have to? So for me, this whole issue is kind of a non-issue because I feel like the Baseball Hall of Fame is a fraud. It's based on ridiculous ideas from some generation of baseball writers that have nothing to do with actual sports as they're played in any time in the last 50 years.
Yeah. Well, you heard it here first, people. You've got a passionate rant from someone who said Mariano Rivera is apparently a reliever.